This is W6, where RJ Broadhead dives into the who, what, where, when, why, and how they all come together for a Tiger Cats win.
It's playoff time. Welcome to W6. I'm RJ Broadhead. Let's start with the who, and it's Hamilton in Montreal to take on the Alouettes. The Tiger Cats finished the regular season third in the East Division with a record of 8 wins and 10 losses. That's the same record as last season, and the third straight where they ended with 8 wins. Of the 10 losses this season, 7 have come against Montreal and Toronto. Those are the only teams the Tiger Cats have not beaten this season, but will have to beat them both to make it to the Grey Cup. Montreal finished the regular season second in the East Division with a record of 11-7. It's the first time in over a decade where the Owls finished with 11 wins. They come into the playoffs in a 5-game winning streak, making them the hottest CFL team going into the postseason. The Tiger Cats have lost 2 in a row coming into the playoffs, but they were both close games. Tiger Cats lost those 2 games by a combined 5 points, including that 2-point loss to Montreal last week. The Alouettes have won all 3 games head-to-head. The Tiger Cats did not score more than 20 points in any of those games, but did have a lead in all 3, but could not hang on to win. So what are some of the numbers for the Ticats players head-to-head against Montreal this season? For quarterbacks, well, the Tiger Cats had a different starting quarterback for all 3 games against Montreal. None of them threw a touchdown pass. The Ticats had just 3 touchdowns in 3 games against Montreal. James Butler had a 4-yard run. Sean Thomas Erlington brought it in from 5 yards. And Tyreek McAllister had that touchdown on the field goal miss that he brought back 122 yards. The Tiger Cats did not reach 100 yards rushing against Montreal this season in any of the games. They had a different leading rusher in all 3. Matt Schultz led the way in the first game. James Butler's best game against Montreal was the second meeting. He rushed for 51 yards and 61 receiving yards for 112 total yards. And Sean Thomas Erlington had 80 yards rushing last week. No receivers scored a touchdown on offense against Montreal. In the first meeting, Tim White had 143 receiving yards. He was held to just 2 catches and 21 yards in the second game and didn't play last week. Terry Godwin caught the most passes against Montreal. He had 15 receptions in 3 games.
They have a good defense, but I know for a fact our offense is one of the best offense in this league. And once we're clicking on all cylinders, nobody can stop us. So we go out there and, like I always say, play Hamilton Tiger Cat football and get our playmakers the ball and do what we have to do. Nobody's going to be able to stop us. Personally, I feel like I had an okay season. I know for a fact I can do a lot better and do a lot more for the team than what I did this year. But, I mean, who's going to say whatever happens, happens? But I'm just looking forward to this playoff game and helping get my team to the Grey Cup. This whole week, the mindset has been through the roof. I mean, at practice, guys flying around in the meeting rooms, the guys are locked in, asking, great questions, getting to the bottom of certain things. Just being on all of one accordance with from the top to the bottom of the guys in the waiting room, from the head coach. And I mean, you can't expect anything more than that going into this first playoff game.
On defense, the Ticats linebackers were busy. Simone Lawrence had 13 tackles in 3 games. That's the most of any Tiger Cat. And both Jameer Thurman and Chris Edwards had 12 tackles each. The trio of linebackers combined for 5 quarterback sacks in 3 games. As far as the kickers are concerned, Mark Leggio comes into the playoffs having been successful on his last 12 field goal attempts and his last 10 converts. David Cote missed 4 field goals in 3 games against the Tiger Cats this season, including 2 misses last week. On to the where, and it is in Montreal, Molson Percival Stadium. Hamilton have been very good on the road this season. The Tiger Cats were 5-4 away from home. They scored more points and allowed fewer points on the road this year. Here's Jameer Thurman.
We have this road warrior type thing that people have been saying this year, and it actually has been true. But at the same time, I just go into every game like it's another game, and I just go out there and compete, come away with the win. I've heard that, they start slow here, and I've seen that firsthand. But at the same time, when it comes towards the end of the season, the intensity, the sense of urgency is raised up here. And I feel like a lot of guys really hone in on the details, coaching staff, from the top down. And I really, I embrace that because that's kind of the person that I am too, and what I relate to as a person as well. So I really think that it's just everyone gets that that sense of urgency to do more because at the end of the day, it's playoffs.
Montreal had a 5-4 record at home. They've won the last 6 games against Hamilton overall, and in Montreal they've won the last 5 against the Tiger Cats. Let's take a look at the when, and we'll focus on the playoff history. These two teams have met in the playoffs the last 3 seasons. All 3 have been in the Eastern semifinal. Since 1953, the Tiger Cats have the edge. They've won 18 of the 28 playoff meetings, including 13 of the 20 played in Montreal. So why has Montreal been successful this season against the Tiger Cats? Well, they dominated the turnover battle. Hamilton had 13 turnovers compared to Montreal's 4 turnovers in the head-to-head games. Here's Coach O.
We're going to have to take care of the football, and we're going to have to find a way to take the ball away. There's no secret in that. We try to do that every week. We know that was instrumental in us turning our season around, and it'll be no different heading into this week. With that being said, we're going to have to make our plays. Everybody... we always talk about you don't know how many opportunities you're going to get to have to make a play. All you can do is make yours. And so some people have plenty of opportunities. Some people only have a few. And it's usually the team that makes those plays the most consistently has the best opportunity. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Montreal scored 9 touchdowns against the Tiger Cats. They scored on offense, defense, and special teams. The 2 punt return touchdowns Montreal had against Hamilton are the only 2 the Tiger Cats allowed this season. Another factor has been the starts and finishes to games. Hamilton has not won a first or fourth quarter against Montreal this season. The fourth quarter in particular has been dominated by Montreal. They've outscored Hamilton 39-7 in the 3 games in the final quarter. So how are the Tiger Cats going to manage a win in this playoff game? They're going to go with Matt Shiltz at quarterback. Bo Levi Mitchell will probably see some action. As far as Shiltz is concerned against Montreal, in his start, he completed 25 passes for 345 yards. That's the most passing yards he's had in a game this season. It will be the 4th start this season for Matt Shiltz. He's started the fewest games for the Tiger Cats this year, but was the only quarterback to have a record above 500. He threw for the 2nd most yards on the Ticats, the 2nd most touchdowns thrown, and the fewest interceptions. He also led the Tiger Cats quarterbacks with 13 completions of 30 yards or more. Shiltz also has led a touchdown drive in the last 3 times he's entered a game, so that would be a positive for the Tiger Cats if they could get off to a great start in the first quarter, which has also been their most difficult quarter this season. There have been a lot of ups and downs this season. The Tiger Cats have not been successful against Montreal in the regular season, but this is the game that matters. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff. The Ticats Audio Network pregame show with Bubba O'Neill and Andy Fantuz is at 2 o'clock. Luke Tasker and I will have the call at kickoff at 3.
Now that you've got your W6 for this week's game, give the Ticats Audio Network a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you find your audio content.